What's good, what's good? Someone that's no one. We back for another story time. This will be a quick one. Hopefully, I always say that now. And it ends up being like at least a half hour, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, an hour, maybe more. This one will be a quick one. I didn't even plan on this really. Just kind of intuitively just going with it because I feel like I should report this and just kind of something significant along my journey, I guess, and something that I just want to see if others relate to it as well, and just I guess what we can make of it, and if there's any actually real connections to this or anything like that, or just just seeing what's possible too. Cicadas, shout out cicadas. I am not smoking a J in this video, kind of a rare occasion, right guys, but I do have a little something. We got nice clean piece with some hash burger in there. So without further ado, if you want to join me, I'm gonna hit this real quick. We still gonna be on some 420 stuff, of course, but not like through the whole video where we're chiefing like that. But just because I'm on some quick right now, I got a little time crunch. But without further ado, Sparka. Pretty nice gas as of late. Let me know what you guys have been smoking on. So I'm probably gonna, I don't know what we'll call this, because we have already, I made one like last year where it's like hopping through dimensions on Molly and ketamine. It's kind of the same thing that happened, man. I won't title it, I probably won't even put ketamine or Molly in the title with this one. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see. But basically, like, go check out that video. Firstly, go check out that video, man, if you haven't. But go check out that video because I break that down in full depth. That's like a 50-minute video, I think, and where I try to just like really explain what's going on. And this is just more of an elaboration on that because it happened again, right? About 200 milligrams of Molly, right? So 0.2 of Molly and ketamine. Nothing too crazy significant. I mean, some decent lines. I mean, we did some lines, like that. But nothing like too crazy like that in the dosing because I do ketamine kind of just here and there, and like it doesn't reach this level by any means unless I actually take a ton. So I mean, there's probably the synergy going on with the two, I would imagine. But I do just naturally think that it is that MDMA component of the MDA and the psychedelicness, so of how the experience can just be and how it can just be hallucinatory, right? So let's get into that, right? And I won't break down this full story time. Like I said, we're gonna try and make this. I want to try and make this under about 15-20 minutes, something like that. So I did this with my girl. We had just been talking about it. We like to do MDMA, probably like a few times a year or something like that, right? Just one of our favorite things to kind of get messed up on, but it's also it's a healing experience at the same time. There's a purpose to it, right? It's just a very empathic thing, very connective thing like that. Yeah, it always tends to be a good time, right? I mean, it's not in all these clubs and stuff, and you hear about all these raves and whatnot. It's not like that, popping off like that for no reason, right? So we do this, right? We'll just say we do this, and it comes up in about an hour. If I don't really notice too much for the first like 30-ish minutes or so. We just kind of watch a show while just coming up. But we have all this kind of lined up, all this music and all this stuff, but we try to play some games, and that shit doesn't work because I soon get quickly double vision and you're just disoriented. So I'll mainly focus on the hallucinatory parts because this is just the parts I kind of want to highlight of this experience. I don't think overall it wasn't anything too crazy of an experience, but for anybody who's never experienced it, it's fucking wild, probably. So, but for me, it's kind of a casual one, but not really, because of the content. It's not just like casual, I have this any other day or anything, but it's just like, well, I've gone, I guess you can say, much deeper and just like much more trippy at times. But this is still very, out of body, very psychedelic and whatnot, and just worth sharing, and that's why I'm making this video on it. So, anyways, so it starts with this double vision, right? This double vision gets kind of, I remember, like, you were watching music videos, I think, just like, I just can't see straight, basically. It starts off like that, then I start noticing, like, boing, boing in my eyeballs, literally, like, my whole vision, and where I'm, like, the straightness to it, and everything is just, like, bouncing back and forth, up and down. It's kind of, if you never had that, you're kind of busting, man. You're kind of busting, man. And I remember just kind of, throughout this, we just, like I said, do lines here and there, nothing, like, too crazy. I think they're, like, 2 or 3 into the peak, something like that. It was nothing too crazy, but I was, like, fully active, just fully here. And this is where it's, like, there's no, like, noticeable separation on the outside for if you were like my girlfriend or just somebody else who were, like, just around me, tripping with me or whatever, rolling with me, and you just see me, you wouldn't even probably know, or, like, could tell this shit is happening to me, right? And what do I mean by that? I mean, like, I almost split into 2 people, like, or, I mean, not necessarily 2 people, but just, like, I split into, like, I'm still here, present, my human self, right? But then it's like, alright, my whole consciousness shifts also to the spiritual side, or just, like, my spirit body, right? And we just start drifting, because what happens is, like, this double vision, it picks up more and more, it turns into, like, triple vision, kind of like quadruple vision. Alright, you see where this is going. It's like, eventually it's just like, I ain't even seeing what's here at all. And I remember at one point, even just coming up, I was telling her, when I would close my eyes, get these closed eye visuals and whatnot, and just be like, these insane, like, schemes unfolding, right? I'm trying to remember it now, just like, trying to describe it, just like, on a 4-dimensional, 5-dimensional level, just like, under my eyelids, right? And soon this would just take over, kind of, into my vision. It's what I'm seeing. But at the same time, it's also like, I know, like, I'm here, and I know, like, it's cool. I mean, I've been through this before, so I know, like, just subconsciously that it's fine, it's cool. So, like, my human self is just like, we've done this many times. And we're still just gonna get lit, start dancing, right? Just have a really just good time, and still just do what I would do when I would roll normally. I remember, like, at some point, turn the Skrillex on and just have the basement side going, and just like, yeah, just how I would be, just like raving a bit, right? Well, what's kind of significant is what we had watched, Alien Earth, the newest episode, which is pretty fire, man. This show was turning out to be pretty gas, I can't lie, man. And just in that, just like the concepts being explored of just like shifting consciousness and whatnot, kind of in a similar way to what Ghost in the Shell. So, just to give an idea of putting a consciousness into not an AI, but it's like a robot essentially, but and just things beyond that and whatnot. No extraterrestrial life and whatnot, the future of mankind and humankind, what could happen and whatnot. These kind of themes definitely played heavily into this and influenced this, because I just kind of naturally thinking of just like my separation and just like how I could be a consciousness and possibly some other body, right, besides my human body, the concept of humankind itself, and just like the process of what mating, and creating a child like that, and what that entails, and just like how that relates to consciousness, and just like seeing these visuals of it too, and just like making it out in this landscape I entered. And the landscape I also didn't even kind of set that up. It's like what it turns into at first is kind of like it's like a bunch of TVs basically, and I'm like in space almost in this, but it's not even in space. It's kind of like in this. It's not like black, but it's like green, right? Imagine if space was green in a sense, and had like kind of these atomic waves going around, orangey waves and whatnot, and just like, and then there's like millions of TVs basically, or screens floating about, right? Of potential realities and alternate realities of how things can just unfold and how things could just be from my present moment, but also just from the moments of how and why I decided to become a human and live out this experience and have this process going on. It tied in heavily into that moment specifically too, and just relating it all, like making connections with it. And just keep in mind at the same time, man, I'm just kind of buzzing, bro. Just having a good time. It's not like it's a bad time or I'm getting freaked out or anything like that. It's like I just kind of like also see it. Then it's just like I tested it too. I remember I was like, all right, man, if this is really like really the case, send me back right now, man. To I guess I don't even know what to call it, right? The motherboard, home base, I don't know, man. Just the lab, like just send me back to where we started this, right? If this is really just that, because like I'm just testing this kind of like, alright, it's like I'm sent in, y'all had to wipe my memory and whatnot. That's just part of the process, but it's like send me back to where, you know, where we started this, right? And get me out of the capsule or whatever, the machine that's emulating this, or just the state of mind, whatever it is that's causing this, and send me back to the original state, right? I remember when I kind of just was like this and thinking this, I remember just like this huge rumbling all around me, just like almost like a rocket ship, right? Getting ready to just blast off. And I feel like I don't know, it wasn't going to blast off though. Like I felt like it was trying to blast off, but it wasn't going to blast off. Partially because, well, this is also where I kind of got a little worried, and I felt like it gave me the answer. Well, to blast off, actually, truly, if you really want to, you are going to have to die first. And then that's where it's like the switch to my human self came back, and it's like I ain't trying to necessarily just die, because I'm trying to just test that and see if we can just blast off like that or go there like that, right? So like I don't know, I was like also at the same time it's like I'm not gonna die, you know. I'm happy with my girl and whatnot. I'm happy where I'm at. I want to pick up the pace with things with this channel and whatnot, but I am very happy with where I'm at in my life right now. But and just like I want, not necessarily myself, kind of just like to demand like, all right, it's right, my time's ready to die, but just like more so just like naturally when it's, you know, the universe is when it says or whatever, and that line aligns, right? So there's a much deeper thing to that, because where I may, if I do choose to just have that be cocky in a sense, it may ascend me or descend me into something I'm not really meant to go through yet, right? I'm meant to go through this process, and that ties back to where that decision and that choice, right? to becoming a human, and how we all decided this to become human and be here. And we all agreed on this in some way, and that's just a whole nother thing, right? But that's kind of like the main stuff I guess I want to get out about this, and just like the main hallucinatory state of this. So I kind of would, after the peak a little bit, I would bounce back and forth, human self, and just like still there, especially if I close my eyes or anything, or in the dark and whatnot, and just like getting lost into this music and whatnot. And yeah, man, it was good. It was a good time, and good reminder of things, good testing area for me, I guess. And just like I said, I just kind of want to give an update about this and just what happened and whatnot, and just like that significant portion and whatnot. Besides that, I mean, like I said, just kind of getting wet and whatnot. Good emotional time with my girlfriend and whatnot. Won't get into some specific details of what we did and whatnot, but it was a good roll, and I wasn't expecting that by any means. But I mean, the past few times I've rolled, especially if I involved K and taken off, it's just like this kind of state tends to happen. It hasn't been always consistent like that, but it can just like pop out of nowhere, really. And it's just like, and I would be just so natural about it, and just like so calm about it, and just like, this is what it is, and it's like, we know what this is, so let's just do what, you know, what we're curious about, go about it, see what's up. And like I said, it's a bit more than just like that, getting into just like specific details and whatnot, but that's the main gist of it, and just like the main messages I say are thoughts that, or takeaway I would say from it, besides, you know, among the mess of, I wouldn't even say mess, but just intricacies of what is, you know, beyond this dimension and beyond this reality, and just what's possible like that. Like the future, like I said, the future of humankind and whatnot, which is what's meant to be and whatnot. So I remember just, we went outside at one point, just looking at the stars, man. And the stars and that just like really inspired more thoughts, just like, gotta go stargaze more regularly, man. On some shit. You gotta go stargazing on some shit, but yeah, man. So like I said, I want to make this under 20 minutes. We're just about there, so we'll leave it at that. I hope you guys enjoyed this story. Don't know what we'll title this yet. Something about exploring dimensions. I don't know. Blasting off through consciousness. I don't know, man. I'll figure it out. But let me know what you guys thought about this story. Just a bonus. You never know. Sometimes you just pop up. But yeah. Alright. This was someone that's no one. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.